Good morning, children. Today we are going to do the fifth lesson of your literature book, that is Perseus and the Gorgon. Now this story is based on Greek mythology. It is a story how Perseus becomes a hero. Now in this story there are many characters, so I'll first introduce you to all the characters so that you understand the story better. So first of all, Perseus. Perseus is the hero of the story. His father's name is Zeus and his mother's name is Danae. When Perseus was small, he and his mother was sent to the island of Seriphos, where they were rescued by a kind man named Dictys. He had a brother whose name was Polydectes, who was very cruel and evil ruler of Seriphos. Then we have some gods and goddesses. They are Zeus, Hermes and Athena. Then there are some grey witches who are very strange women because they share one eye. Then there are nymphs, who is the goddess of nature. And then we have Medusa, who is the Gorgon. Gorgon is a monstrous creature, very frightening creature. And last of all, we have Andromeda, who is a young woman tied to a rock in the sea. Now we'll proceed on to the story in the book.
Now children, turn to page number 56, lesson number 5, Perseus and the Gorgon. In the northern skies, if you look up on a clear night, you can see a constellation of stars called Perseus. The constellation is named after a Greek hero who was half man, half god. His father was the god Zeus and his mother was the beautiful human Danae. When he was a baby, Perseus and his mother were sent away to an island called Seriphos. A kind man called Dictys took them in and looked after them. Dictys' brother Polydectes was the king of the island. Polydectes was a cruel and evil tyrant. Perseus grew up into a strong young man. He worked hard on the land and was very protective of his mother. So children, what do you mean by constellation? It is a group of stars. And what do you mean by tyrant? It means ruler. Now this is a story of a Greek hero named Perseus. Perseus was half man and half god because his father was the king of God and his name was Zeus, and his mother was a beautiful human whose name was Danae. Now when Perseus was a baby, he and his mother were sent to an island called Seriphos. There they were given shelter by a kind man whose name was Dictys. Now this Dictys, he looked after Perseus and his mother. But Dictys' brother Polydectes, he was a very cruel and evil ruler of the island of Seriphos. Now Perseus grew up into a very strong and bold man. He worked very hard on the land and he was very possessive of his mother. One day, the mean king saw Perseus' mother and decided that he wanted to marry her. He kept trying to meet Danae, but Perseus did not like or trust the king. So he used his cunning to keep the king away in order to protect his mother. The king became angry because he was used to getting whatever he wanted. How can I get rid of this irritating man? Thought Polydectes. He plotted to send Perseus away in disgrace so that he would never return to Seriphos. Perseus knew that he had angered Polydectes, so he was surprised to get an invitation to a banquet. The invitation made it clear that the king expected everyone to bring him a horse as a present. Perseus did not have a horse and he could not afford to buy one. What shall I do? He wondered. It would be disrespectful to refuse the invitation, so he would have to go to the banquet without a gift. He hoped that the king would be understanding. When Perseus arrived at the banquet, he realized that the king was not going to let him off. Everyone was lined up and one by one they gave their gifts to the king. One day, Polydectes, he saw Perseus' mother and he decided to marry her. But this was not liked by Perseus as he did not trust the king. The king became very angry with Perseus and he thought of a plan to get rid of him so that he would never return to Seriphos. Perseus knew that he had angered Polydectes, but then he was surprised to get an invitation from the king. And in this invitation, the king expected everyone to bring a horse as a present. Perseus was a poor man. He could not afford to buy a horse. But then it would have been disrespectful to refuse the invitation. So he went to the banquet without any gift. When Perseus reached there, he saw that everyone was giving their gifts to the king. When it came to Perseus' turn, the king spoke loudly. "Ha, Perseus! Where have you hidden the horse you have got for me?" The other guests laughed along with the king. One said, "Oh, Perseus, don't you know our customs?" Perseus felt embarrassed, humiliated. Everyone in the great hall was looking at him. Without thinking about the consequences, he made a rash promise. "King Polydectes, I have no gift for you today, but I promise that I will bring you another gift. Whatever you like, just name it and I will bring it." So, when it came to Perseus' turn, the king asked for the gift. Everyone in the banquet laughed along with the king. And then they said, "Perseus, don't you know our custom?" Perseus felt very humiliated. Everyone in the hall looked at him. And without thinking anything, Perseus made a very rash promise. He said, "King Polydectes, today I don't have any gift for you, but I promise that I'll bring you another gift. You just tell me what you want." The king looked delighted. He knew he could use this opportunity to get rid of Perseus. He said, "That is kind, Perseus. I know exactly what I want." He smiled menacingly. "Bring me the head of Medusa." Everyone gasped. Perseus nodded and bowed. "It shall be done," he said confidently, and then he went to his seat at the banquet table. He tried hard to keep his face from showing how worried he felt. The whole kingdom lived in fear of Medusa and her sisters. They were Gorgons, monstrous, terrifying creatures who lived in a cave and preyed on anyone who came near them. Instead of hair, they had snakes growing out of their heads. Unlike her sisters, Medusa was mortal and could, in theory, be killed. In reality, no one had ever come close to being able to defeat her. Anyone who looked directly at Medusa's face was instantly turned to stone. How would a young man be able to defeat her? The next day, before he set off, Perseus spoke to his mother. "Don't go," she begged him. "I must go," said Perseus. "It is the only way to be free from Polydectes." Now the king felt very happy because he got an opportunity to take revenge from Perseus. He then ordered Perseus to bring him the head of Medusa. Everyone present there was shocked, but Perseus agreed and said, "It shall be done." The whole kingdom lived in fear of Medusa and her sisters because they were very frightening creatures, and anyone who looked at Medusa's face was immediately turned to stone. Then the next day, Perseus set off to get the head of Medusa because that was the only way to be free from Polydectes. Danae wished Perseus luck and watched him leave. She prayed to gods to keep him safe from harm. High up in the sky, the gods were watching. They wanted to help Perseus and appeared in front of him. Zeus gave him a special sword and a helmet that would make him invisible. Hermes lent Perseus a pair of winged sandals so that he could fly. Athena gave him a polished shield. Perseus was grateful. "Thank you," he said. "I will do my best to be worthy of your gifts." "Use your brain as well as your strength, Perseus," warned Athena. "You will need a special bag to carry Medusa's head." So now Perseus' mother, she was very worried, so she prayed to God for her son's safety. Gods also was watching from above. They also thought that something unfair had happened to Perseus, so they wanted to help Perseus. Zeus gave him a special sword and helmet that would make him invisible. Hermes gave Perseus a winged sandals and so that he could fly. And Athena gave him polished shield, and for all these things Perseus was very grateful to them. And then Athena also says that he would require a special bag to carry Medusa's head. "Where will I get this bag?" asked Perseus. "Go to the northern shore," said Athena. "There you will find the ancient grave witches. Make them tell you how to find the nymphs who look after the garden of goddess Hera. Be cunning as well as brave." Perseus made his way to the northern shore. When he came near the cave of the ancient witches, he crouched behind some large rock. Never had he seen such a heinous sight. The witches wore filthy, tattered, grey robes which looked so much like their wrinkled grey skin that it was hard to make out their features. Perseus almost gagged as he noticed that they shared one eyeball. As the witches moved around the area, they passed the eyeball to each other with their claw-like wrinkled hands. Perseus crept closer. "I hear someone coming," said one witch. Then Perseus asked Athena, where could he find the bag? She said, for that he will have to go to the northern shore where he'll find some grey witches and she will tell him or lead him to the nymphs. And then Perseus made his way to the northern shore. When he reached the cave, there he found very ugly creatures, and they were the witches. They were wearing all torn clothes and their skin were wrinkled. Means she looked very old. And the best part was that they all shared one eyeball. That means they were 3 in number and they had one common eyeball and they were fighting for the eyeball. Her sister grabbed the eye. "I can't see anything. Give it to me," screeched the other one. Just then, as the second sister was handing over the eye, Perseus lunged forward and grabbed it from her. The witches were confused. "What can you see?" demanded the first one. "Who has the eye? Give it to me," croaked the third witch. "You have it, you fool," hissed the second witch. Perseus spoke loudly. "I have your eyes. You can have it back in return for what I need." The witches wailed and pleaded. "Give us back our eyes. Tell us what you want." "Take me to the nymphs of Hera," demanded Perseus. The witches knew they had no choice. They led him to the west and delivered him to the Hera's garden. Perseus returned their eye to them. So what's the meaning of screeched? Shouted, lunged, moved forward, grabbed to take it by force, and croaked also means shouted, wailed, shout in pain, and pleaded is begged. So now we see that Perseus had taken the eyeball from the witches, and then he makes a bargain with the witches. He says that if you tell me the way to Hera's garden, then I'll return the eye to you. Witches had no option but to take him to the Hera's garden. The nymphs were very happy to help Perseus. They gave him a silver knapsack to safely contain Medusa's head. Perseus set off again, ready to tackle the Gorgon. Long before he got to the entrance to the Gorgon's cave, Perseus knew he was in the right place. No creature came near the place, so there was no noise except the sound of his footsteps in the creepy silence. The petrified remains of the men in frozen poses of terror were all around him. Perseus crept as quietly as possible through the forest of statues, making his way to the mouth of the cave. He put on his helmet and slowly walked in. Using his polished shield as a mirror to find his way through the cave, he came across the sleeping bodies of the Gorgons. Perseus almost gasped out loud at the reflection of the shield of Medusa's hideous face. He took a slow, deep breath to calm himself, raised his sword, and with one swift blow, he chopped off the monstrous head. Quickly, without looking at it, he scooped the head into the knapsack and set off. The nymphs were very happy to help Perseus. They gave him the silver knapsack in which he could keep Medusa's head. And after that, Perseus left that place to find the Gorgons. When he reached the cave, he found that it was very quiet, and all around him he could see the frozen poses of terror of men all around him. Then he made his way to the mouth of the cave. He had already worn his helmet and had sword in his hand, in one hand, and polished shield in the other. Perseus, when he reached that place, he got the reflection in his shield of Medusa's hideous face. He gasped, he took a long breath, and then he took out his sword, and with one swift blow, he cut off the monstrous head, means Medusa's head. And without looking at anything, he kept that head in that knapsack. And from there, he set off. Medusa's sisters had woken up, and they ran out of the cave just behind Perseus. They could not see him, but they could follow the scent of their sisters and the trail of blood. Although they were quick, once they were out of the cave, they could not follow Perseus because he flew away on his winged sandals and left them far behind. So we see that after Perseus had cut the head of Medusa, the sisters of Medusa, they woke up and they started chasing Perseus. But Perseus had already put on his winged sandals, so they could not reach him because he flew away on his winged sandals and left them behind. This was not the end of Perseus' adventure. On the way home, as he flew along the coast, he saw a young woman tied to a rock in the sea. He flew down to free her. "No, you must leave me. I am Andromeda, and I must be sacrificed to the sea serpent in order to stop him from attacking our people." Perseus admired her bravery, but did not want to see her killed. "I will fight the monster and save you," he promised. "Be careful, brave one," said Andromeda. Now, that was not the end of his voyage, Perseus' voyage. When he was flying along the coast, he saw that a woman was tied to a rock in the sea. Then he came down, and then that lady, that young woman, she said, "No, don't come here. Leave me alone. I have sacrificed my life to the sea serpent in order to stop him from attacking other people." Sacrificed means offering to the god. Then Perseus, he was very much charmed by her bravery. And then he says, "Don't worry, I am going to kill that monster, that sea serpent." Then Andromeda says that you have to be very careful because it is not an easy task for anyone to kill that sea serpent. The sea serpent was ferocious and fought hard. Perseus flew in and out of the coil and sliced at it with Zeus' sword. The battle lasted a long time until eventually the sea was red with the serpent's blood, and it sank to its death beneath the waves. Come with me, said Perseus to Andromeda, and she agreed. So we see that the sea serpent, it was a very, very ferocious monster, and it was very, very difficult to defeat him also. But then Perseus had the sword of Zeus, and the battle lasted. They both fought and in and out. But at the end, Perseus was able to kill the sea serpent. And then when he had killed the sea serpent, he told Andromeda to come with him to the island. Back in Seriphos, King Polydectes was holding another banquet when Perseus strode through the door. Strode means to come inside. I have your gift, he announced. Announced means said. The king laughed disbelievingly, not believing. Show me, he commanded. Commanded means ordered. Perseus closed his eyes tightly and pulled Medusa's head from the bag. The king and everyone in his court was instantly turned into stone. And from then on, Seriphos was ruled by kind Dictys. Danae was happy to see Perseus home safely, and everyone celebrated when Perseus and Andromeda were married. Now, after killing all the monsters, the sea serpent and Medusa, then he comes back to Seriphos, where he finds that Polydectes is again holding a banquet. So he comes inside the door and says that he has brought the king's gift. But nobody could believe him, because it was not possible. Whoever looked at Medusa's head was instantly turned to stone. How could he bring it? And so the king said, okay, if you have got my gift, then show it. Then what did Perseus do? He closed his eyes tightly, and then he took off the Medusa's head from the knapsack. After that, the king and all the people present in the court was immediately changed into stone. That means everybody turned into a statue. And from then onwards, Seriphos was ruled by a kind king called Dictys. And Danae, she was also very happy that her son had returned safely, and everybody celebrated Perseus and Andromeda's marriage. Now this story has been written by Clary Horsburgh. I hope everybody enjoyed the lesson, and now you can proceed on with the worksheet. Thank you and have a nice day.